Now, after understanding about the working of two-cavity klystron amplifier, we will come to the analysis of a klystron amplifier. So, we made some assumption that our DC accelerating voltage, that is the DC voltage which we have provided, capital V0 which we have provided, it is going to be very much high in magnitude when compared to that of the signal in the Bunge cavity. Okay. So we assume that the electrons which was emitted of the cathode because of the cathode being thermally heated. Okay, so it is going to arrive at a uniform velocity as already explained in the Bunge cavity. Now we assume that the potential energy which is coming because of the DC voltage is EV0 for the electron and the kinetic energy acquired by the electron half mv0 square. So both the potential energy and the kinetic energy of the electron will be equal when it arrives initially in the Bunge cavity. Okay, the cathode being thermally heated, we know that the electrons will be emitted and the potential energy will be equal to the kinetic energy. The figure here shows the signal voltage in the Bunge gap. Now we have seen in the last slide the potential energy will be equal to kinetic energy. From this we can write the velocity of the electrons initially V0 is equal to root of 2 eV0 by m. That the electrons are first accelerated by a high DC voltage V0 before it is entering the Bunge grids or Bunge cavity. So the velocity is uniform. That is, the electrons are leaving the cathode with zero velocity. Okay, once they are being thermally heated, they are coming from the cathode initially with the zero velocity, but they are subjected to very high DC voltage and they then acquire a kinetic energy, and this potential energy is equated to kinetic energy and we get such a equation. Here capital V0 indicates the DC voltage which we are applying. Okay. Now when a microwave signal is applied to the input terminal, the gap voltage between the Bunge grid appears as Vs is equal to V1 sin omega t. So we have seen a signal voltage is existing in the Bunge grids. So to find the average signal, we have to obviously integrate the signal. Now here we have written the expression for the gap voltage between the Bunge grids as the second equation. Obviously we have assumed that the microwave input signal V1 which we are providing is very much lesser than the DC voltage capital VO. This assumption is taken. Now we have to find the modulated velocity. We know that it is subjected, electrons are subjected to velocity modulation inside the Bunge cavity. Okay, so in order to find this modulated velocity in the Bunge cavity in terms of either the entering time t0 or exit time t1 and the gap transit angle theta g. Okay, so we have to find out the modulated velocity either in terms of T0, T1 and the gap transit angle theta g. So we have to determine the average microwave voltage in the Bunge gap. So we will write the expression for the time. Average transit time, we know that T0 is the time the electrons is arriving in the Bunge cavity and T1 is the time the electron is leaving the Bunge cavity. So that time is called, indicated here as a transit time. So this transit time denoted by tau, expression is written, we know obviously time is distance by velocity. Velocity of the electron small v0. So d by v0 which is nothing but t1 minus t0, we are writing it as our third equation. Now the average gap transit angle, this is a standard expression for relationship between theta angle d and the omega angular radiant frequency and the time. Theta g is equal to omega into tau. So substituting for tau from the third equation, we get T1 minus omega into T1 minus T0 which is omega d by V0 which is our fourth equation. Now we have written the expression for the microwave voltage in the Bunge gap. To find the average microwave voltage in the Bunge gap, we have to integrate the expression with respect to the transit time, that is tau, which is the difference between the arrival of the electrons in the Buncher gap and the leaving of the electrons in the Buncher gap. So tau is T1 minus T0. So we have to integrate the voltage with respect to this tau. So the average microwave voltage in the Buncher gap can be found in the following way. 1 by tau integral T0 to T1 V1 sin omega t dt. Now we know how to integrate this. After integrating we get the result as such. Now we are assuming let this term omega t0 plus omega d by 2 v naught to be equal to a. That is omega t naught plus theta g by 2. Okay, theta g is omega d by v naught. So let omega t0 plus theta g by 2 equal to a and let b be equal to theta g by 2. That is omega d by 2 v naught. Okay, when we are carrying out a plus b and a minus b, we find out that our first term, okay, this omega t naught, this first term cos of omega t naught turns to be cos of a minus b, and this second term found to be cos of a plus b. So this is nothing but a plus b and this is a minus b. So we have to remember this. We are taking this a particular assumption, taking a arbitrary constants a of a and b and finding out a plus b and a minus b and taking this as cos of a minus b minus cos of a plus b. Now, by using the trigonometric identity, we have seen the equation turns out to be cos of a minus b and cos of a plus b. So, this trigonometric identity is nothing but 2 sin a sin b. So, we can rewrite the equation. Now, here I have written some equation for you to understand in a better manner. Sometimes in textbook, you can see that the equations are directly written without much steps. Okay. So when I am rewriting this equation, it turns out to be twice v1 by omega tau sin a sin b. Okay. So we are rewriting the expression with the values for a and b. Now we know omega tau is theta g. Okay. So we can rewrite this expression as v1 sin theta g by 2 by theta g by 2 sin omega t0 plus theta g by 2. Now in klystron amplifier, we have to take several factors into consideration. One such factor was our bunching parameter. Okay. Another factor which we have to consider is the beam coupling coefficient of our input cavity gap. That is our Buncher cavity. There will be a coupling coefficient. So this coupling coefficient beta I is denoted by sin theta g by 2 by theta g by 2, where theta g is our gap transit angle. So this factor sin theta g by 2 by theta g by 2 is nothing but the beam coupling coefficient. So first of all, we have written the equation for the microwave voltage at the Buncher gap. We have integrated it with respect to tau to find the average microwave voltage existing inside the Buncher cavity. Then we have taken a assumption for a constant of a and b. Then by using trigonometric identity, we have written the equation as such. And when we have written the final expression for Vs, we will take here this particular parameter is nothing but the beam coupling coefficient of the input cavity gap. So now again we can write this expression Vs as V1 beta I sin omega t0 plus theta g by 2. Now from the previous expression, it can be seen that when we are increasing the gap transit angle theta g, it is going to decrease the coupling between electron beam and Buncher cavity, and velocity modulation will be decreasing for a given microwave signal. Now we will write the expression for the exit velocity from the Buncher gap. We know the initial velocity of electrons arriving at the Buncher cavity and the expression for velocity modulated electron in the Buncher cavity. So combining these two terms, we get the expression for exit velocity of electron from the Buncher gap. Now we know that this first term, root of 2 eV0 by m, it represents the parameter V0. And we can reduce the second term on the assumption that our DC voltage V0 is very much higher than the microwave input signal V1. So by using binomial expansion and under the assumption, we can reduce this expression as shown in here. So this is our seventh equation. Now here we have written the velocity modulation equation in terms of T0. That is at the time at which the electrons is entering the Buncher cavity. Alternatively, the equation of velocity modulation can also be given as such. That is, we have written here in terms of time T1, the time at which electrons are going to leave the Buncher cavity. Here, this particular term, that is beta I V1 by V0, is representing the depth of velocity modulation. So this is the velocity modulation equation, and we have explained here about the velocity modulation which is taking place in two cavity klystron amplifier.